So the last couple previous years, Tubi had actually been putting out some pretty good originals. And I was looking forward to what they would do with 2025 because they seem to be upping their game and putting out much better titles. And we're in September, and we've watched a few Tubi originals this year, and we haven't liked any of them. And I was quite bummed that Tubi has seemed to fallen back into their old ways of putting out just kind of trashy films. And then I saw that this had been released and I saw some decent reviews for it. So I was like, all right, screw it, I'll check it out. And I did. And had I actually looked into this beforehand, like looked at who directed it, I probably would have known that this was gonna be their most successful film of this year, which it is, absolutely, without question. They haven't even made a good other movie this year that I've seen. If there is something that I'm missing from 2025 on Tubi that's a Tubi original, please let me know. But as of right now, in September, this is the first and only good Tubi original horror film of 2025. So, Takeout. Yeah, this is directed by the same person who made other films for Tubi, which I also really enjoyed, which was Slay, the drag queen vampire movie in the bar. That one's really damn fun. And the movie Invasive, which I thought was a really cool thriller. Unfortunately, the same director did make Invasive 2, The Getaway, which did I also come out this year and is pretty dreadful. A horrible follow up to the first. But I do have to believe that that was a rushed production. I think I said that when we watched it. I think that the first one was successful, and then they were thrown the opportunity to do the second one. And having interviewed someone who worked on Tubi originals, we've actually interviewed a few people at this point who have made Tubi originals, and yeah, they definitely, are like, let's get it going. So the productions can be pretty rushed. But this one is about a fast food restaurant, and we have three coworkers who are working a late night shift, and there is a serial killer on the loose. And one of our characters, the main character Nova, she suspects that one of their patrons, is the killer, and yeah, it goes from there. There's a big reward out there as well, so that's also a factor of the film. I had a really good time with this. I think that this is, you know, fairly twisty and turny. Nothing super unique or unpredictable or any of that. If you're a fan of this person's previous works like Slay and Invasive, I would absolutely check this out. I did like our characters here. I found the story and the way that it played out to be entertaining, and I had a good time with it throughout. And this is all Tubi alums here. I was looking at each one of them individually, and our main girl Nova is from the dreadful Killer Body Count that came out a couple years ago on Tubi. A couple other people were all in like Invasive 2, I think. Like 3 of them might have been in her previous film. So she's bringing a lot of Tubi people together. And I just stopped there. I looked at like the first 4 names, and all of them had been in Tubi movies. So this is just like a Tubi family film. And yeah, I dug this. I think that there's some good humor to it, but it's not like a horror comedy. It's definitely a thriller. And I could see people harping on it because of the conveniences or because of the lack of believability, but I just feel like people are way too harsh on that stuff. I do. I feel like I've said this too many times. I just keep reiterating the same thing, but people are so much harsher on film plots and character choices now than they ever were before. Like, if you look at 80s horror movies, especially like the schlockier types of films, we loved and embraced all of the stupid decisions and the sillinesses and the contrivances and all of that stuff, and we just don't as much anymore. And this one, it's nothing like super glaring, but yeah, I don't know. I guess if I'm just vibing with a film, and as long as it's not egregious and it doesn't break the rules that are set, like the tone it matches the choices throughout, right? You kind of know that this movie's slightly playful. It's not, I don't know, I feel like very few films are meant to be taken like super super seriously, grounded in every sense of reality. Like, films are always supposed to be somewhat fantastical and ridiculous, and most people wouldn't do anything, right? Like, the reason we watch film is because real life can be boring, because people don't act like movie characters, and I don't know. So, all right, I'll stop. But yeah, I had a good time with this one. I guess I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to. I guess if I was to compare this to any movie that I watched from last year, a movie that I actually watched twice because I had a really good time with it, I had to show it to Kaylee because I thought that she would enjoy it, and I might do the same with this one, is the movie Night Shift, which I thought was a totally overlooked film of last year. These aren't the type of movies that are going to make a top 10 list, right? This is not what that is. This is just a entertaining 1 or 2 time watch, totally adequate piece of entertainment. So, as I said, if you're into the previous films I had mentioned, or if you watch this and you like it, then consider checking out Invasive and Slay. And it definitely, with Tubi taking directors and getting them to make other films for them, that definitely begs the question, where the hell is the follow-up to Lowlifes? I'm not saying I want a sequel to it, although I would take a sequel to it. That being said, like, how have they not been tapped for another movie? We have, yeah, I don't know what else is in the works with Tubi right now. Tubi doesn't promote their films, like, at all. They don't announce anything. Like, when Invasive got a sequel, it just dropped. It didn't get announced. I had no idea it was happening, that it was in development, that it was greenlit, that it nothing. So Tubi plays it really close to the vest. They genuinely just make a movie and drop it on the platform. There doesn't seem to be trailers barely ever for these damn things. It's just straight up, if you go on Tubi, that's how you know a Tubi movie exists. And I don't know what's in the pipeline for the future, if anything else is coming out this year. But this is the one solid win for Tubi thus far. And typically when Kaylee's not sitting next to me, that usually means the movie's not good, or it was something that genuinely just did not appeal to her because it had like a bunch of action or something like that in it. And this is neither. So this is one of those rare times where I think that she would have probably liked it as much as I did and had a good time with it. So I'll probably show it to her, to be honest. But I do not expect for this movie to make her top 10. It's definitely not making mine, and it definitely probably won't make yours. But that doesn't mean that it's a waste of your time. Not everything has to be a masterpiece. So that's that. All right. Adios.